Hey, what's up? My name is PJ, and in this quick video I'm going to be doing a real-world review, a real-world test on the GoPro Hero 5 Black Edition. I hope you enjoy. So I'm currently walking down the street. I'm going to be testing out the GoPro Hero 5. There's some wind blowing right into the camera, so that's going to be a really good audio test, to be honest, because one of the features of this camera is it's supposed to have automatic wind reduction. What do you call it? Wind muffling. I think it works pretty well. I've had the camera now for about a week or two, and one thing I've found is that if you're talking normally in like a normal environment and then it gets windy, the audio is really bad because it's not consistent. If you're already in the wind and you start talking, and you know, it does its best to block out the wind noise, but it's not perfect, but it's much better than switching between the two. So probably the best thing to do for audio is turn it on in the wind and leave it off when you're not in the wind, just so you don't take any chances, basically. So I'm currently, get the G7X out, I'm currently filming with this bad boy on a selfie stick, just a little monopod. So the reason for that is I want to kind of make it handheld as possible, but it's also not really convenient to hold the little GoPro in my hands. So this will be a pretty good test, I think, pretty good stabilization test. I'm shooting on wide 1080p 60 frames per second. One thing that I also have found out is that the GoPro Hero 5 doesn't stabilize in 4K mode. So in 1080 and on the wide function, I think this is probably going to be just about as good as it gets. I'm not sure why it doesn't shoot in 4K, but it doesn't matter too much to me because I'm going to scale it down to 1080 anyway, so I just don't really need to shoot 4K right now. I think the 4K hype is real, like it's obviously where we're going with everything, but it's going to take so long for all of our computers and hard drives and all that stuff to catch up. So for someone like me, for my own filming needs, I don't really need to use the 4K at the moment. It's good to have though. So here we are, I've come to just like a little park at the end of my street. There's a giant dog barking next door. It's pretty overcast today. I wish it was a bit sunnier because I think that's where the GoPros really shine. On like a really bright sunny day, the image quality is just excellent on the GoPros. I'll have to do some other tests inside, in indirect light, in artificial light. We'll see how it goes. One of the other times that I used this, I had it on a GorillaPod as well, and I did notice there was a lot of noise just from noise traveling through the GorillaPod into the frame and into the camera, into the microphone itself. So I'm interested to see what it's like with this one. Like I said, I've just got it on the selfie stick, and I think any small movement like this on the selfie stick, that'll just kind of rattle through the body and through the frame. So I'm hoping that's not too bad. One thing that I don't love about the GoPros is the color balance. I find they tend to be either too cool or too green. And if I had to choose, I would choose the opposite of both of those things. I would choose a little on the warm side and a little on the pink side. I think that's just better for shooting people, for shooting skin. I probably need to experiment with the Pro Tune. I think that's the Pro Tune feature, which is kind of like a flat picture style, or like a kind of like a raw video mode. Should probably experiment with that, but at this stage it's just easy for me with my videos. I edit a lot of my videos in ScreenFlow, and the color grading features are just not that good in ScreenFlow. So one other thing that I'll say is that if you want to get good audio from your GoPro, and probably just about any other camera, to be honest, is you need to be close to the source. You need to be close to the camera. If I'm talking to the GoPro here, I'm probably about 6 inches away from the camera itself. I'm pretty close to the source, and when that's the case, the camera can automatically bring the gain quite low which means you get really good signal for the audio and the background noise isn't too high. You probably can't tell, maybe you can, but basically there's a highway, there's like a major road just, I don't know, 50 meters away. So if I speak close to the camera, I'm sure the audio is pretty good. However, if I extend it to arm's length and I talk to the camera now, I'm assuming, I can't hear it right now, but I'm assuming that what the camera's going to do is boost the gain, the auto gain control. You're going to boost it, and that's going to mean my voice is up at a good level, but it's also going to bring up the background noise. So there's going to be a lot of just audio clutter. There's going to be just a lot messier audio. So that's a pretty good tip. I might have to put that in another video. If you want good audio from any source, get nice and close to it, and Bob's your uncle, Flo's your auntie, and Sid's your next door neighbor. Another thing that I'll say about the camera is the battery life is pretty good. I think it usually says about, what is it, like 2 hours? I think it's just under 2 hours is the expected battery life for this sort of thing. And it seems to be pretty accurate. With my GoPro Hero 3 Black, which is the GoPro that I've used for a couple of years now, it's just been rubbish. Like, to be honest, I'm almost certain that I got a knockoff. A cool thing I found out about it is that when the GoPro is off, you can click the record button on top once and it'll turn on and start recording, which is really cool because you don't have to fumble around. It was especially hard with the old GoPros with the they didn't have really a screen. They had the little LCD on the front but nothing on the back, so it was kind of hard to flick through the menus. So this is really cool. Click it on, start recording, get on with whatever you're capturing. Another really weird quirk that I found is when you start recording, your LCD, I can't remember what it's called, but the touchscreen on the back is on for, composition or whatever. And then after maybe 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, it actually turns off. So I've missed a couple of shots due to that because I look down on my chesty mount or I look at the back of the screen and it's turned off. So I click it again and then I stop recording, which is really awkward, but it's very subtle. You can tell if it's recording by that tiny little red light flashing there on the corner, and there's one on the back here too. So that's my bad. Trial and error though. Trial and error is exactly what that is. Touchscreen is really good on the back. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but man, it's so much better than the 2-button system from before. So basically, if you want to view your things, you swipe from the left. That'll bring up the videos that you've taken. You can swipe down to scroll through them. You can delete individual files, which is really handy as well, because I think in the old GoPros, I think you could delete the last one or you could delete everything, which is really annoying. You can change the settings really easily. It's something that you never knew you missed. You just dealt with it with the old GoPros. The LCD backpack on the old GoPros was an extra and it absolutely slayed the battery life, which is no good. But this one is really, really good, and I didn't realize how much I wanted it. Also, having the controls on the back of the GoPro means you don't really need to use the app anymore. Like in the past, you would frame, you would compose your shots, you would check the angle and the settings and whatever using the app. You could also transfer stuff through the app. To be honest, I actually haven't even used the app yet for the new GoPro because you don't need it. You can look at everything on the back. You can even view your videos, hear the audio. That's a really cool new feature. The GoPro itself is pretty nice. It comes in this like lovely black rubbery housing, and of course it's waterproof. You don't need the extra like the acrylic case or like the skeleton housing. I can't remember what it's called, but you don't need anything extra. It's waterproof straight out of the box. The seals are quite good. Like, it's pretty hard to get the battery out or get the SD out or whatever. Even just to open up the charging port, it's got this little like suction thing underneath. So I think they work pretty good. You want them to be tight, I guess. One thing I don't like is the glass is always exposed on the front. I know there's like a lens underneath that piece of glass, but I just don't know if it's interchangeable at this point. I'll have to do some research because I feel like that could very easily get scratched as there's no extra case for it. A good thing is though that it does come with the frame already, whereas with the previous GoPros that was something extra that you had to buy. So it comes with the frame to mount onto a tripod, which is really cool. I got a couple of extra things. I got the chesty mount, and I also got the hot shoe mount for the top of my 5D, which is really cool. The battery life is great. I think usually you get about 2 hours, maybe just under 2 hours, and like I said, compared to my old one, that was probably 20 minutes at best, I reckon, maybe 20 to 30 minutes. The frame that it comes in, it's really hard to take off. If you didn't have fingernails, you would really struggle. And it's also pretty snugly inside this little mount here. Ugh. I guess it's a good thing. You don't want it falling out, but I also did just drop it on the floor, so that could have been, you know, concrete or off a boat or something. These seals, ow! These seals are really tight. You might be able to hear that. There's like a little rubber seal, like a little suction-y seal in here, which is good, I guess. That covers the USB-C connector and the mini, I think it's called a mini HDMI out. And this one on the bottom, similarly tough to open, or maybe less so, but it's also got a rubbery seal. Let's see if you can hear it. That's got the battery and the micro SD inside. Tough little seal. It is a bit, actually it is a bit easier to open, that one. But yeah, I guess if it's going to be waterproof, it has to be kind of tough to open, so it's not really a complaint. I would love to know though, I would love to know if this lens on the front comes off, because I feel like you could scratch it up pretty easily. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. My conclusion is this little thing is great. The image quality doesn't seem to be a whole lot different from the older GoPros, but you don't buy it for the image quality, you buy it for everything else. The image quality on the GoPro is already really good. Even in all the past models, even from the first GoPros, if you're outside in bright lights, the image quality has always been really good. This just takes it up a notch for ease of use and just general convenience. So yeah, this is a great little unit. I can't wait to use it. I'm going to make a bunch of cool different content, try and sort of vlog my life and adventures a little bit more using this thing. So I would highly recommend it. If you have the money, I think it's around $400 to $500 depending on what part of the world you're from. But yeah, really cool little thing. I can't wait to use it more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you learned something, give me a big fat thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.